Yo, what up? Welcome to my review of the Legion of Superheroes animated DC feature. I'm your boy Diesel Tyme, and let's get right to it. This is a movie that piggybacks off another DC animated feature, the Justice Society of America World War II movie featuring The Flash, who kicks off the movie meeting Superman as Superman is facing off with Brainiac, who is my favorite Superman villain. I was disappointed by how they used him. He gets like 2 minutes of screen time. It's demonstrated that he's powerful enough to defeat Superman, and then they end the movie by coming back and just instantly killing him off. He gets a kryptonite bullet through the head. He's dead. Instead of giving Brainiac a proper story, they just kind of use him as a prop in this other movie involving time travel with The Flash. Anyways, fast forward to this movie. They mentioned like 2 or 3 times the bullet to the head that Brainiac got. It took me a minute to even remember that happened and that's what they were referencing. From a marketing and storytelling standpoint, I find it a bit odd that you make a Justice Society of America movie your mandatory reading, your homework, before seeing a Legion of Superheroes movie. Those are like the 2 lamest superhero teams on the DC lineup. It just seems like you're shooting yourself in the foot. Like maybe if you had a Justice League movie, maybe you piggyback off the Superman Man of Tomorrow movie that kind of kicked off this whole universe. But it even took me a while to watch the World War II Flash Justice Society movie. Like the poster just didn't look very interesting to me. I'm not a big fan of Hawkman or the Jay Garrick Flash. I hadn't even heard of Our Man until watching that movie. It's unlikely that everyone who sees this new Legion of Superhero movie has already seen your Justice Society of America movie. To bring back Brainiac, there's another tongue twister, to bring back Brainiac as this kind of deformed hybrid thing with a bunch of clone Brainiacs growing all over him. That's not my Brainiac. It was unrecognizable in like the storytelling choices. And then he's a cult leader. You built up the story around these guys in the purple robes who are secret societying around. And then you throw in that their leader, the big bad at the end of the movie is actually Brainiac. And I don't know, for whatever reason, Brainiac just doesn't strike me as a cult leader. It made it hard for me to believe that that's how you chose to use him. You brought him back all ugly fugly, and now he's a cult leader. Like, since when does Brainiac do that kind of stuff? You kind of misused him the first time. Now you're misusing him again. I was psyched. Oh, snap, they're bringing in Brainiac. But then when they revealed how they were using him, it just totally burst my bubble. I was not happy with it. Let's swing back around to some of our main characters. You had Supergirl, who comes from, not Metropolis, she comes from Krypton. Their society is more advanced than ours on Earth, so she goes forward 1,000 years into the 31st century where the technology is a little more advanced, society is a little more advanced, she's a little more at home, and she's hanging out with this legion of superheroes like the police academy of superheroes. She wants to stick around because of this Daxamite character, because, he's kind of handsome, he's got the charm. But when they don't really develop that romance and they switch gears to her bumping heads with Brainiac 5, I kind of instantly knew, oh, the Daxamite, he's about to be evil, and she's going to need to get a room with Brainiac 5. Maybe I've just seen enough of these that it seemed intuitive. The storytelling on that was just maybe a little too thin for me. Although I did appreciate the way they kind of set Supergirl up as not very heroic in the beginning. Like, she is not ready to fulfill the role of a superhero because of some, personal things going on. And they also introduce Brainiac 5 as maybe a little ahead of her in the superheroing department, but also has that same deficiency as far as social skills. He's just a little too self-absorbed. Through their interactions and bumping heads with one another, they kind of humble each other, and then obviously that friction leads to a little more friction. Yeah, they kind of make each other better, and in wrestling terms, their heat turns into this partnership that puts them both over as heroic at the end of the movie. I never liked Brainiac 5 as a character, but I like their attempt to put him over as a character without being in the shadow of Brainiac. So when they did kind of make Brainiac the big bad at the end, it kind of ruined the whole experience of having built up Brainiac 5 for me, just because I would prefer to keep those two things separate. You got Brainiac versus Superman as a staple of the DC universe, and then you got Brainiac 5, who's actually a good character as part of this team in the future. Crossing the streams just, it didn't work for me. It didn't pass the smell test. So yeah, there's some things that I liked about this movie, but a lot of things that I didn't, as far as it being their between 5 and 10th release, you know, somewhere in there. This was an opportunity to take these D-list characters and do a Guardians of the Galaxy like thrust into the mainstream. I just felt like they relied a little too much on Brainiac but didn't use him correctly, and they also had a little bit of Batman and Superman to help you get through the door and join on to the Supergirl, who's a little more of a B-lister, but it just didn't quite deliver as far as they could have done something else with that slot. You know, they could have had a Justice League movie rather than Justice Society or Superhero Legion, whatever. I don't care about those teams. Go ahead and watch it. You know, it was a fun watch. It's worth the while, but just not one of my favorites. I might watch it again to see, you know, maybe I was being a little too hard on it. Maybe there's some more things that I liked, but yeah, not a big recommendation for me. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. I've been your boy Diesel Tyme. Please like and subscribe. Leave any comments down below. Let me know what you thought. Do you have a favorite Superman antagonist that you want to see in another feature, or another superhero team that you think DC needs to get on? Let me know. Let us all know down below. Have a good one. Peace.